Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Khelben as our Africa Corps, and his opponent today is going to be Gonky as our British. Map today is going to be Twin Beaches. I'm sure you guys are all rather familiar with this map at this point, but these got 3 fuel points, 8 fuel down from 10, so it makes the game a little less swingy. Expect we're going to see some pretty early fights over this 8 fuel here. And then as the game goes on, we'll see fights starting to bleed into the beaches, and yeah. Looks like it's going to be a Bersaglieri opening for our Africa Corps player. So he's picked up the Italian Combined Arms. Interestingly enough, going for a Panzer Pioneer instead of a motorbike here. I do like motorbike on this map for its capturing power, but feels like he wants a little bit more fighting power. I suspect we'll see a 250 potentially to give him that combat fighting bonus adjacent to vehicles, but maybe not. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different build from him, so we'll see where that ends up going. British player, on the other hand, has skipped his first Royal Engineer, opting for 2 infantry sections to start us off. So feeling like he wants a little extra fighting power, get that XP rolling just a little bit sooner. So this tends to be a slower build off the gate, but gets stronger faster. Bersaglieri ready for this push here, sitting in that heavy cover and having the high ground, so this is not a fight those infantry sections are going to win there. And this is the disadvantage of going for 2 early infantry sections instead of a Royal Engineer, because you don't have your units as far out on the map. And a Dingo following up here. Dingo, an interesting choice. I mean, against DAC, Dingo is very strong, of course, especially if your opponent builds a 250. But if they don't build a 250, you could find yourself being pretty sad here. Bersaglieri looking like they want to close there. Infantry section going to hop in the house, and we have our first few scuffles happening here. It was actually a pretty decent fight for that infantry section, but now that those Bursas are back in heavy cover, it's not going to be feeling good about that. Panzer Pioneers are nearby enough to pick up these Royal Engineers, grabbing the fuel. Dingo getting aggressive here. Now that, again, Bursas don't have any AT potential, so this Humber Armor Guard can close the gap real quick, but we do see the German player focusing down the Dingo. The Dingo's probably going to have to back off here. Other infantry section not closing the gap there. It does look like our British player is going to win this fight. And Royal Engineers also pushed off the Panzer Pioneers. And ultimately, a really nice start here for our British player. Quick light support company on the way. Well, guess it's not that quick. Has had a decent amount of fuel income up until right now, where he's about to lose all 3 points. But Triple Bursa forming a nice core to his army, and could see those units get very strong in the late game. And Royal Engineers were trying to heal up the Dingo, but Bursa's coming down. Gonna get pushed off here from the looks of it. Dingo's trying its best. Might even try to finish the capture, to be honest there. A little bit aggressive. Infantry section going for the cutoff point. Feels a little unnecessary there. He's already got control over all the points. Royal Engineers did finish that capture. And Dingo gonna flee as well here. Seeing some early flamethrowers here from Khelben. He's going to get forced back. Yeah, flamethrowers I feel like are pretty unpopular in Panzer Pioneers. I think it's because they're decent at medium to long range already, and if you're forcing them to run at your opponent to hit them with flamethrowers, it doesn't feel super great. I'm not actually sure if I'm correct on that, but a little bit unpopular, I would say. Versus getting a flank here, going to get behind the heavy cover, force that infantry section back, and German's going to pretty handily win this position. I'm a little surprised this infantry section hasn't retreated yet, but just looking to stall his opponent, potentially. Mine's going to go down there after they finish the capture. Versus coming up top. And after a nice little push there by our British player, German player has come back a bit here. Partly because our British player is teching up. Interestingly enough, well, I was going to say that typically you'll see folks go for 4 infantry sections if they skip that Royal Engineer, but this game that's replaced by the Dingo before going up to the platoon command posts. Building up a little bit of fuel here. Feels like we're going to see a Humber armored car once he has the manpower, I imagine. Bunch of mines going down here. That's 2 now. Fortunately for our British player, did see this one, so has the opportunity to pick up some minesweepers if he so chooses. True section coming down to help out the Dingo. Dingo perfectly content with that fight, right? He's trading manpower for armor, repair time, right? So literally any time that Dingo spends fighting without dying is value. British infantry section's going to grab away this cutoff point. Looks like Royal Engineers up here grabbing the munitions. Yeah. Dog's annoyed with me because I locked him in my office for this recording. And he's just going to have to deal with it. Dingo dealing with these Panzer Pioneers and a Stuart. Okay. Cool. I must have missed him picking up that tech. So, question is next, is it going to be 1 Stuart or 2? We do see those Panzerjägers added on here. So it does have a reasonable answer. Stuarts are really strong because they have enough health to be able to handle Panzerjägers. I wonder if we're going to see a second Panzerjäger here. Feels like our German player has the anti-infantry he needs, and another Panzerjäger could be a decent add here. Although I will say that I think Flak Half-Track's pretty popular in this position, but he's got so much fuel. Has he picked up support elements yet? No, he hasn't. I mean, mechanized company's still on the cards for him, I would say. Let's see if that ends up happening. Artillery barrage from the British player going to keep this point under his control. Stuart now on the field, infantry training next. And it feels like our British player is leaning heavy into munitions here on that top side, maybe with the intention of picking up Bren guns. It is going to be fire support elements here. He hasn't seen the Stuart yet, but he's about to. And looks like he is going to commit to the fire support elements. Jaeger's getting some good hits. One more hit there. Pop smoke, going to save the day. So infantry section going to use that smoke to close the gap here, finding those bursts right in their heavy cover right where they left them. And Stuart going to engage with those bursts, quickly driving them back. Focus fire coming out from Gonky here, absolutely shredding those bursts. Might chase here. Jaeger's coming out of the base. Yes, they are, and that could be a dead Stuart, so this was a little greedy here. He's going to trade the 250 at the very least. And might get one more shot here. Nice pickup. Yeah, that was a risky decision from our British player there. I mean, he really wanted to wipe that burst on his way out. Ends up paying for it with a Stuart. Heavy machine gun going to be added on for Gonky. So going to try and deal with these masses of infantry with the heavy machine gun. British player moving big time into this top side, and it looks like those Panzerjäger are going to find this Dingo here potentially. Royal Engineer is going to flee. Dingo also fleeing. Going to get shot here at least once. And one more shot ought to do it, but he should get out of there. This map's got this weird little curve to it, and there's a wall there, so if it goes that way, it should be okay. Yeah, Jaeger's not quite getting a... Oh, might find him anyway. Nope. Just barely missing. So, luckiest Dingo alive. And, yeah, I mean, heavy machine gun feels pretty good here. Feels like our British player definitely needs some anti-infantry. That could come in the form of Bren guns, potentially, but that fuel advantage for our German player going to be feeling really good here in the mid-game. I wonder if we're going to see a fast Panzer company. Feels like that could be the case, and Bren guns are the choice here. Doesn't have enough munitions for all of them, though. Bet 2 on that infantry section is going to feel pretty darn good. Dingo helping out on this bottom side. He's still going to lose the fuel. And man, this game has been swingy. Feels like our British player's been in a good... Both players have felt like they were in good positions, only to have the other players steal it away from them. So, like this move on the cutoff point from our British player here, recognizing that he's strong in the middle. Looks like he's going to go for both cutoff points. That's an interesting decision. I think it's going to work out for him too. And Jaeger, whoa, that's some sneaky Jaegers there. Looks like he's using them for scouting information. Another steward on the way. Yeah, I mean, I think that a steward is risky, but maybe the correct decision here. I mean, he needs some armor. You know, he needs some form of vehicle to deal with all these bursts, especially now that they're getting their Model 30s. An infantry section gonna flee there, should make it. But at the same time, you know, a steward gonna feel a bit weak to these Jaegers, and that might be a dead dingo. Just barely gonna scrape out of there. Heavy machine gun in a bad spot now. Interestingly enough, no grenades for our British players. Gonna stop this cutoff point from being retaken. So continuing to deny the fuel, which I think is actually a good decision. Royal Engineers grabbing up some territory. Dingo hanging out. Heavy machine gun on the retreat. Infantry section gonna grab this fuel after decapping cutoff. Panzer Pioneers on the top side doing their thing. Now these Royal Engineers have a chance to close with those Panzer Pioneers, but choosing not to. Steward on the field here is going to come and support this top side. And that will be pretty darn good. Push away those versus, and here come the Jaeger. We're going to see those Jaeger continuing to hunt this Stewart, right? They're just going to basically follow him around the map. Amazingly enough, Dingo's still alive here, repaired back to full, and Panzer Pioneers driven off there. I love to see the engineers in the wings of the map capturing territory. Infantry section on a bad retreat path here. Could go down to these Jaegers. Jaegers focusing the Stewart. Closing the gap here. Going to get some more shots on the Stewart. Already Veteran C2 there. Stewart getting totally wrecked and did pop smoke, but not going to help out too much. Infantry section just going to screen here while the Stewart goes over and takes out those Panzer Pioneers there. Infantry section showing back up after getting fully healed here, and it looks like our British players locked in air and sea. And, you know, I posted a game yesterday with Red Wings. Could we be seeing another Centaur here? I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. You didn't see that game yesterday? Oh, no. Oh, no. Is barely going to make it. Heavy machine gun helping out. Yeah, yesterday I posted a game with Red Wings, and he just went mass Centaur 4 from the air and sea, and it was hilarious. Classic Red Wings, so I highly recommend checking out that game if you haven't already. And Dingo finally going to go down here. Royal Engineers putting away their minesweepers to increase their combat effectiveness, but they've got a terrible retreat path ahead of them. Mills Bomb going to pick up one of the Panzer Pioneers. Should make it out okay. It's going to feel pretty bad, though. Yeah, he's going to make it from the looks of it. That's kind of a... I mean, that's a little bit of a dedication here on the bottom side for our German player, but these bursts is so freaking fast. You can grab up some territory on the bottom side and then be on the top side in time for dinner. And I do really like how active our British player's being, grabbing this cutoff point every chance he gets. Here come the bursts from behind. Stewart is fully repaired here. Looks like he's going to come in to save this heavy machine gun. Grenade in the retreat path. Not going to connect. And a second heavy machine gun on the way. It's not often that I think that 2 heavy machine guns against Afrika Korps is a good decision, but this is definitely one of those games. And I wonder if we're going to see Khelben go straight for Tiger. I mean, it's a long way off, but he hasn't added on anything at all. So, I mean, I guess he's got enough for... yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. We'll see what he wants to do here. He's just been so passive with his fuel. Over here thinking maybe he wants to do something cheeky. But it is going to be a Panzer III. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I think Panzer III is going to be really strong right at this timing. He only has to fear a Stuart. Now, our British player's not too far off. You know, he could add a couple AT guns, no problem here, over the next couple minutes. Does he have grenades? I don't think he has grenades. Yeah, he doesn't yet. Does have... Yeah, I mean, he's not really doing a lot with his battle group either. So... Gonna be a period of turmoil here for our British player for sure. Stuart coming to that bottom side, but Khelben aware, probably hearing the tank in the fog of war. Infantry section grabbing this munitions point. Does have support from more squads here. Stun grenade coming out. Is going to connect. Just a little bit there. Flamethrower actually doing good work. Infantry section instantly retreating. Panzer III fighting with this infantry section here. Loving that skin. I might give that a quick look here in just a second. You know, I wish... Is it just me, or is the store a little hard to see stuff in? You know, like, I don't feel like I have a firm grasp of what the skins are because there's just so many units. I don't know. In any case, if you guys know what this skin is, please let me know. Love to hear about it. Fights happening all over the map here. Grenade gonna miss that burst of squad. And the Royal Engineers probably gonna get forced back there. Panzer III on the bottom side. Stuart not doing a whole lot. Heavy machine gun moving up. 6-pounder has been added on. And I do think we're going to see a second 6-pounder here as he collects the manpower. And I'd love to see him spend those munitions potentially on another Bren gun here. And another grenade. Might actually lose that Vickers. That's a pretty unfortunate loss. German player could even pick it up here. Double Jaeger squad into this Stuart. Not going to feel good. Does look like those bursts is going to try to grab the heavy machine gun. Are going to take some serious losses, but burst is going to live. Oh, nice takedown there. So, I mean, I'll take that trade as the British player. You know, picking up a burst of squad in exchange for a Vickers is reasonable. I think that was a reasonable veterancy Vickers or a burst of squad too. Unfortunately, for a British player, not able to get his hands on the Model 30. So our German's going to be feeling good about that. And I know it sounds like I'm rooting for our British player, but I subconsciously root for underdogs in, like, everything. I'm not huge into sports, but when I watch, you know, professional sports, I'm always rooting for the underdog. And I think I might be doing that here a little bit. I mean, taking a look at their elos, it's, I guess it does probably favor our British. So maybe I'm not, maybe I am biased towards British, I don't know. Second Panzer III on the way. Love to see a second 6-pounder. But it's going to be a company command post. And this is a good timing here. He's going to be able to get Crusader out if he wants to. I actually think that a Matilda could be pretty decent here. Matildas, I mean, they're pretty darn good against infantry, but the problem with the Matilda in a situation like this, and that might be it, that is a dead Stuart. Dead. Oh, max range didn't connect. Stuart lives? No way. No way. Yeah, we're at the stage in the game where I feel like the infantry section's very, very powerful. So maybe he doesn't need a Matilda. Problem is, I don't like Crusaders into Panzer IIIs that much. I mean, I guess if you meet them tank for tank, it's totally fine. But, and I know that's an unpopular opinion. I think at a high level, folks really love it. And he's going to go for Grants. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting. And yeah, it feels like our British player may have taken his battle group for the singular assault flares ability, and just so we all know what that is. Oh, we have a quick moment of quiet. So, enemy sectors, your infantry get 25% rate of fire and 50% speed. So, very strong. Does it also affect your own frontline sectors? I'll have to take a closer look when that... I did see him use that a second ago, but I didn't comment on it. Panzer IIIs. Oh, I had just a second there. I could have watched that. We're going to look at this infantry squad sweeping into the bottom side, and then we're going to take a quick look at this guy. That's terrible camera work, I'm sorry. And he just drives into the shadow right as I'm looking at him. But I do love that skin there. Cool. Alright, so big push on this bottom side. Does look like our British player's blobbing up here a little bit. He's going to get armored vehicle training to support these grants. And does have that 6-pounder rolling down. What's his manpower looking like? I'd still really like to see another 6-pounder here, potentially. What's our German want to do? Has he gotten, yeah, he hasn't gotten the... Oh, 6-pounder got a great position here. Get some side armor hits on those Panzer IIIs. Straight through the dock there. Infantry section fighting two Vet 3 units here. Now, I do think the bursts do better at Vet 3. Both these units probably within minimum range here, so they're doing full damage despite both units standing in cover, I think. Potentially, it's close. It's hard to tell. I think it's 10 tiles. So, I might have been just over 10 tiles there. Grant moving in here, and British player going to be able to grab up this beach fuel. Is going to feel pretty good about that. Jaegers protecting and repairing Panzer IIIs. And I'm over here thinking support elements might be next for German in terms of his fuel usage. I mean, he's going to have enough fuel for another Panzer III if he wants, so the Panzer III spam could continue, but with this pack on the way, it kind of feels like he might be thinking about teching up. And amazingly enough, our German has a ton of anti-tank in the form of those Jaegers and Axe and Panzer IIIs. British player more heavily leaning into anti-infantry, so going to struggle against those Panzer IIIs a little bit. And this stolen Vickers being a nuisance up here. Going to suppress those Royal Engineers. Grant backing away here. Infantry section on a bad retreat path here. Going to take some damage, but should make it out. 6-pounder getting a side armor hit there. And is going to drive back that the Royal Engineers on the top side. Pack gun being spotted. AT gun supporting this infantry push. I love this combined arms here. It's exactly what he needs. And 6-pounder should get one more shot there. Once again, a side armor hit versus being forced back by the Grant. And pack gun actually getting a shot as well there. So both players risky to push in there. Vickers from our British player suppressing these bursts, and they got to get the heck out of Dodge. Have a risky retreat path, but there's no windows on this side. That unit is going to be able to escape. And taking a quick look at the victory points here, very even game. Second Grant on the way, and a Stuka for our German. Interesting. Walking Stuka is going to be pretty good. I mean, he spots out that AT gun. Could pretty easily drive it away there. Oh my god, dude. Bursts with the Vet 3 movement speed are friggin' ridiculous. Jaeger's going to get some shots here. Nicely done. Drive back that Grant. Grant, of course, has a ton of health. Bursts is in jeopardy. Should make it out. Infantry section going to be driven back. We got this hold down AT gun. You know, I should know what this is called, but I don't. It's called entrenchment, yeah. It's that fire rate bonus, which is freaking huge. Oh, I mean, reduced damage is pretty mid, right, if you can't move your unit. But the rate of fire is really big, especially if you get team training. Team weapon training, which I don't think he has, and I keep clicking the wrong thing here. There we go. Panzer III going to drive back those infantry. And British player floating a little bit of manpower here. Maybe might consider a Ash if he's not going to go for something like a 6-pounder or a Vickers. I do think another Vickers could be decent here. Not knowing about the Stuart, that is to say, or the Stuka, that is to say. Grenade gonna wreck that heavy machine gun. Grant's not actually connecting. Here comes a barrage, gonna land right on both these team weapons. That's a dead AT gun. Nice pickup there. Pioneers moving in. I think we're gonna see the Panzer IIIs roll into this area potentially, but Grant's also gonna move up to protect the gun. Royal Engineer's gonna have a bit of a run for it, but here come the infantry sections to save the day. And a reasonable first hit for our Stuka, wiping that veterancy. That's gonna feel pretty good. What's our tech looking like in terms of add-ons here? I mean, he's only got the veteran squad leaders, so not a whole lot of upgrades picked up for a German player here. And infantry section trying to hold it down, going to force back those Jaegers. Packs moving up. Infantry section's fighting the heavy machine gun, and just sort of a lines drawn in the sand here. Kind of a fight over nothing here. Infantry section might be able to get their hands on the fuel. British player still doesn't have grenades, so no way to snare those Panzer IIIs. Interestingly enough. Grant's going to move in. That's a dead Bursa, isn't it? Nice. Nice pickup there. And, you know, we've only seen, what, 3 units total go down this game? Well, I guess there was a couple Stuarts in there. But unit preservation... feels like the core of our British players' army is still there, right, in those infantry sections, that Royal Engineer. And now with these Grants at Bet 1 supporting, feels like our British Army's composition's really coming together, and he's getting these clutch picks here at just the right time. Infantry section now on a bad retreat path. Might get him. One more shot. Almost went down there. These Jaegers hiding by the tree. Panzer Pioneers doing their best, but are going to get pushed back. Oh, wow. Infantry section lost the fight. Maybe just wanted to get back home, get healed up. Jaeger's going to pick up some territory. Victory points still rather even. German player is ticking down right now. And another Grant. So, what's going to be the answer? For our German, doesn't have support elements, finally has vehicle survival packages. Oh my god, that Panzer III's got to go. Is going to run. Here comes the barrage. Where's it going? Is going to come down here on those Grants, but they're already out of there. And yeah, not sure if that was a great use of the barrage. I mean, it's tempting, you know, if your opponent doesn't move, but at the highest level, your Stuka's going to do, you know, minimal damage in the sense that, oh, here we go, assault flares used, coming in down south, giving those infantry sections quick movement speed. I do believe it's only enemy territory here, and we're going to have an anti-tanks rocket loiter here. Here come the Grants pushing in. Third Grant is available, but not pushing in as well. German player in full retreat, respecting this, but this plane strike completely encompassing his base here. Rockets not quite finishing off the Panzer IIIs. Grant's not afraid. Pack gun is going to get out okay. And going to get some shots potentially, but that smoke actually working against him there. And wow, that could have gone a lot worse for our German. I love that play from our British player. I mean, that was very clearly planned, with the rocket strike combined with the flares to give all his infantry movement speed, letting him charge. And wow, this all of a sudden turned in a very red map. Very, very red map here. So, British player floating a little bit of manpower here. Probably trying to get another Grant out. What's his pop cap? Yeah, he can get another Grant out if he wants to. And Bursa's fighting these infantry sections. I think the Grant's coming down, though. This is not a place you want to be as a Bursa. Are going to get out of there. Fuel float quite high for our German. Already up to 200. Does have manpower, too, so I really do feel like he's going to go for a Tiger. That was a much better barrage there, getting some connections. Going to force his opponent back, let him get into that area if he wants to. And that's what you want from your barrages, right? You want to... Your barrages are always going to make your opponent move if they're good. If they don't move, you're going to get kills. But worst case, they move, and then you can move into that area. And that's what makes them so darn good. And a flak 36 on the way for our German, and 17 pounders on the way for our British player. So I love this idea from our German. You know, he's got the manpower now. I wish he'd done this a little sooner, but it's, you know, better late than never. And that Flak 36 is going to do pretty well against the Grants, and there's some excellent firing lines right down the center of the map, especially if our German player can get established in this area here. He's going to have some really great sight lines to work with, versus getting absolutely shredded by the Grant blob. Wow, that hurts. And it's interesting from our British player, you know, I think he's grabbing up that 17-pounder in anticipation of a Tiger, right? He should know that his opponent is storing fuel. He hasn't seen any vehicles in a long time. So I think the 17-pounder is a very logical decision from him. And at the same time, it's a trick by our German here. I freaking love it. Now, this Flax is going to have to turn here a little bit. This do not want to lose this truck here, because if he has to reposition, it's going to be real bad. Flak 36 should get one more shot on the Grant. I don't think it's going to destroy it. He's going to live there. We did see one of those Panzer IIIs go down, and surely this is going to be a dead... Oh, is it going to... It's going to fire at the... Oh, okay. I was going to say it's going to fire at the aircraft there, but it's not. Stuka Barrage covering the Flak 36, and is going to get out of there. Panzer IIIs driving up on this infantry section here, going to force them out of here. And still no grenades, amazingly enough. And, yeah, adding it on right now, realizing he can't actually snare that Panzer III. And those rocket strikes are a lot less scary from this battle group, that's for sure. And, yeah, Grant's unafraid here. Looks like our British player's actually calling off one of his Grants. I think is a good decision. And here comes the Flak 36. Doesn't have vision there. And going to keep moving this unit around here. So, okay. Where does that leave us? Yeah, I was... He barely beat me to it. I was about to say indirect fire feels like a good option here. Deal with this Flak 36. And I do think we're going to see a Tiger this game. I mean, if this game keeps going, we're going to see a Tiger. I am a firm believer. I think both players have the units they need to succeed. Well, it's a knife's edge like always, but both players have, at the very least, what they need to not die. That said, I would rather be our British player this game if I had a choice. Infantry section dealing with this Panzer III. Yeah, and I think manpower is going to be the problem for our Africa Corps player. It feels like he didn't invest, you know, into his techs at all from that armory. This is going to be an uphill battle for him. Only having the vehicle smoke to work with, the vehicle survival packages. And it is going to be another Panzer III. Interesting. Okay. I mean, if he's going to do that, I'd love to see maybe some tungsten rounds here. Potentially capturing... What do they call that? I never remember the name of the upgrades from the armory. But the one that lets him engine improvements, maybe? Who knows? Panzer III out of position here. Gonna get caught out a little bit. Pack gun helping out. Panzer III barely gonna survive. Stewart's moving in. Pack getting some decent shots. Flak 36 also helping. And here comes a Bishop barrage. Looks like we're also seeing a strafing run here. Not gonna get a whole lot done there. Panzer III did go down. What did he go down to? The Bishop? Wow, that's an unfortunate loss. And yeah, German player gonna throw in the towel here at the end. That's a shame. I think he may have been a little frustrated there, losing that Panzer III. You know, Panzer IIIs win games by being massed up, and it never felt like he could get a mass going. But with so much fuel in the bank, and a number of victory points to go, and a slow bleed, it feels like he could have held on for a Tiger. But yeah, I can understand surrendering there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and I will see you in the next video.